Hello students. Today we are going to start a new chapter, capacitors. What is a capacitor? A capacitor is a device which is used to store electric charge and energy in the form of electric field. Basically you can say a capacitor is a charge storing device. Now how does a capacitor work? So we know whenever charge is given to a conductor, its potential rises. That means we can say the charge is directly proportional to the potential, or you can say potential of a conductor is directly proportional to the amount of charge given to it. So from this relation we get Q equal to CV. So C is a constant which is Q upon V, is known as capacitance of this conductor. C is known as capacitance. From this formula you can see the SI unit of capacitance can be, if we have to find the unit, then Coulomb per volt. This is known as Farad. Farad is the SI unit of capacitance. 1 farad is a big amount of capacitance. Smaller units can be millifarad, microfarad, nanofarad or picofarad. These can be the smaller units. So this is the first definition and first formula for capacitance. You can say 1 farad is equal to 1 coulomb upon 1 volt. This is 1 farad. So now let us know the making of a capacitor. You can call the making of a capacitor. We consider two plates A and B. Plate A is connected to a source of a positive charge. So this plate acquires positive charge, and this is an uncharged plate. We will draw one more diagram. Same two plates A and B. Plate A is connected to the source of positive charge, and this plate is connected to earth. Okay. Now we talk about the first figure. This plate A is positively charged, so by induction the inner surface of plate B acquires equal amount of negative charge, while its outside surface acquires an equal amount of positive charge. So from this figure, what do we find? This positive charge on the outer surface of plate B, this tends to increase the potential of plate A. But the negative charge present on the inner surface of plate B, this tends to decrease the potential of plate A. But overall effect, because these two charges are present in equal amounts close to each other on the same plate, so overall effect is almost negligible. But in this figure you see This is the positively charged plate connected to the source of positive charge. This plate acquires negative charge on the inner face while the positive charge on the outer face. But the positive charge goes to the earth. So now we have got only a negatively charged plate B and this is a positively charged plate A. So what effect is there? The potential of plate A is regularly decreasing now. That means this plate now has a tendency to acquire more charge. So we can give more charge to this plate A, or you can say this system can store more amount of charge. Means this system has the capacity to acquire more charge. Hence this system is known as a charge storing device, and we can say this is a capacitor. So this is the making of a capacitor. Once again you can see, we take two plates. First is plate A, which is connected to the source of positive charge. A plate B is kept in front of it, which was uncharged initially. Due to induction, the inner surface of plate B acquires negative charge, outer surface acquires an equal amount of positive charge. So, the negative charge tends to decrease the potential of plate A, means the plate A can acquire little amount of more charge. But if I give earthing to the outside plate, the outer surface of plate B, then the positive charge goes to the earth, and now we are left only with a negative charge on the inner face of plate B. Hence, the potential of plate A is regularly, continuously decreased. Hence, we can say this plate A can now hold more amount of charge, and this is a charge storing device. Now, this is what we call a capacitor. So, students, I hope you have understood the principle of making of a capacitor. Now, if I talk about isolated spherical capacitor, what can be the capacitance of an isolated spherical capacitor? Suppose there is a spherical capacitor, we give charge, suppose Q, to this capacitor, Q amount of charge which stays on the surface of the capacitor. This capacitor, this plate conductor, you can say isolated spherical conductor or capacitor. This has a radius A. So what will happen? We can consider that the amount of charge is concentrated at the center, as the field lines, you can say, they come out radially outward. So what is the potential of this conductor? P equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R. Therefore, what is the capacitance? C equal to Q upon V. So Q upon C equal to 4 pi epsilon naught R. This is what we call the capacitance of an isolated spherical conductor. You can consider Earth as an isolated spherical conductor. Earth is one plate and second plate is at infinity, and in between the medium is filled. Okay, between the space between the two plates is filled with some medium. You can say the air, atmosphere, whatever. So Earth is an isolated spherical conductor whose capacitance is C equal to 4 pi epsilon naught R. So this is the isolated spherical conductor, capacitor, you can say. Now let us talk about a parallel plate capacitor. this is a parallel plate capacitor. The first plate is given a positive charge, okay, and the second plate acquires equal amount of negative charge. Its outer surface is earthed. Suppose this is plus q, this is minus q. The distance between the plates is small d, and the area of cross section of the plates is A. Okay, and this is the direction of the electric field, you can say, and the potential difference between the plates is V. So how to find the capacitance of this parallel plate capacitor? So first of all, whenever you need to find the capacitance of a capacitor, first you need to find the potential. So for potential, first of all, let us take one hint. What is the field? Field between the plates. If sigma, which is q upon A, sigma is the surface charge density of the plates, then you must be knowing this. Then field between these two oppositely charged plates is E equal to sigma upon epsilon naught, or you can say this is q upon A epsilon naught. Okay, what is the capacitance? What is the potential of between the plates? Potential between the plates, V is equal to E into D. You know the formula from the chapter of potential, E equal to V upon D. So V equal to ED. So you can say V equal to, put the value, Q upon A epsilon naught into D. Therefore, capacitance of this parallel plate capacitor is C equal to Q upon V. Okay, so this is Q upon, what is V? I have taken small q, you can take here also small q. This is Qd upon A epsilon naught. So C equal to A epsilon naught upon D. This is the formula for the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. And if the plates contain a dielectric between them, in case of a dielectric with dielectric constant K, C becomes Ka epsilon naught upon D. This is the complete formula for capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. Means if you fill the space between the plates with some material, means some dielectric material whose dielectric constant is K, then the capacitance increases K times. So students, this is the capacitance of a parallel plate capacitor. So I hope you all have understood. And now one more topic you can take. Energy of a charged capacitor. Energy of a charged capacitor. So whenever you have to charge the capacitor, means we have to do certain amount of work. Whenever work is done, that work is stored in the capacitor in the form of potential energy. So if I say let dq be the charge stored between the plates, let dq is the charge stored on doing dw amount of work. Since V equal to W upon Q, this formula you know, or W equal to QV, this you know. So using this formula, you can say dW is equal to V dQ. This is the small amount of work in storing dq amount of charge on the plates. Okay, therefore total work in storing q amount of charge, no, q charge will be W equal to integration between the limits 0 to q v dq. Now from the formula of capacitance, what is V? That is q upon c. This is V. So you can write this is q upon c dq. Okay. So 1 upon c is constant. Take it out. What is the integration of q dq? This is q square upon 2. Or you can say q square upon 2c is the work done. No? Q square upon 2c is the work done. Let me rub this. You can say, or U, energy is represented by the symbol U, U equal to Q square upon 2c. This is the first formula for energy of a charge capacitor. Put Q equal to CV, therefore U equal to C square V square upon 2c, or U equal to half CV square, a very important form of the formula which you will be using in the numericals. Now put C equal to Q upon V. So U equal to Q upon V into V square. So U equal to QV upon 2. This is the third form. So these are the three formulae for energy of a charged capacitor. And remember the third one, QV by 2, this shows actually the total amount of energy which is available to the condenser while charging, that is QV. Out of that total energy available to the condenser during charging process, half means 50% means QV upon 2. That is utilized, means in storing as storage of energy in the capacitor, while 50% is dissipated in the form of heat. This is also one important aspect in the charging of a capacitor. So that you will be utilizing in the numerical portion. So students, I hope you have understood today's topics on capacitors, the chapter capacitor, and in my next lecture we shall take the remaining topics like dielectric polarization, then the capacitance of a capacitor with a dielectric slab between the plates, then combination of capacitors, and then we shall take on some very good numericals on this topic. I hope you all have followed today's lecture. Now see you in the next lecture. Thank you.